The galaxy rejected Earth, but humanity grinned and continued forward. The galaxy had rules. Strict rules. Every advanced species was watched carefully by the Galactic Union. They looked for peace, stability, and respect for life. Earth had failed all three. The humans had fought wars, created weapons, and argued endlessly. Alien observers saw humans as reckless and weak. They had a vote. Earth was rejected. The message reached Earth through the interstellar relay. Leah Morgan sat in the observation room of the orbital station. She stared at the holographic screen that showed the Council's verdict. Around her, scientists and officers whispered. Some were angry, some were sad, some were quiet. Leah felt a strange calm. This was not the first time humans had faced rejection. It would not be the last. Captain Ryan Cole, a man in his late 40s, stood in front of the crew. His eyes were steady. His voice was calm but firm. "The galaxy does not fear our weakness. It fears our potential," he said. Many did not understand at first. Some frowned. Some shook their heads. But those words sank deep. Leah thought about the years of research and preparation she had given to the Frontier program. The program was secret at first. Governments argued about it. Some wanted to abandon it after the rejection. Others insisted if the galaxy would not welcome humanity, then humanity would make its own way. The Frontier program was simple in idea but massive in scale. It aimed to send humans beyond the known space, to explore, to settle, to survive. It would not be a war project. There were no massive weapons, no fleets designed to destroy. Instead, there were tools, machines, seeds, and knowledge. Humanity would carry its life to new worlds and prove its worth in action, not words. Leah joined the Horizon Dawn, the first ship built for the long journey. The ship was enormous, with living spaces for hundreds of humans, labs for research, and storage for years of supplies. Engineers worked day and night to make it ready. The atmosphere inside was tense but hopeful. Every person knew the mission could fail. Every person hoped it would not. Ethan Brooks was the chief mechanic. He was a tall man with quick hands and a calm voice. Machines obeyed him in a way they did not obey others. He spent hours checking engines and fuel lines. Maya Scott, the medic, made sure the crew stayed healthy. She had worked in hospitals on Earth, but this was different. Space was not kind. Every small illness could become deadly far from home. Before launch, the crew gathered on the observation deck. Earth glimmered in the distance. Leah stared at it. It was the only home most of them had ever known. But it was not enough. The rejection hurt, but it was not a reason to stop. Humanity would prove its value not by begging the galaxy to accept it, but by showing what it could do. The Horizon Dawn launched. Its engines burned bright against the black sky. Aliens watched from their distant posts, curious and skeptical. Some laughed. "They will fail," they said. "They cannot survive alone." But the humans did not listen to the laughter. They had their own path. They had their own rules. Traveling through deep space was difficult. Navigation was tricky. Stars moved differently in each sector. Radiation storms damaged sensors. Supplies ran low faster than planned. Yet every problem brought the crew together. Leah coordinated repairs and calculations. Ethan fixed engines that seemed beyond repair. Maya treated every injury, every sickness, and every fear with calm confidence. The first stop was a small planet outside known space. Its surface was cold and rocky. The atmosphere was thin but breathable with masks and filters. The crew named it New Hope. It was a place to test human ability. They built shelters from the materials they carried. They planted crops designed to survive in the harsh conditions. They tested water purification systems. Every day brought new challenges, but they adapted. Meanwhile, reports from aliens slowly spread. Signals from the Horizon Dawn and New Hope reached distant systems. Trade ships intercepted the communications. At first, they ignored them. Humans were not part of the Union. Why bother? But as signals multiplied, some began to pay attention. Small colonies, mining operations, and relay beacons appeared in areas thought empty. Pirates in the region noticed the activity. They assumed humans would be easy prey. They attacked one of the early stations, expecting no defense. They were wrong. Humans fought back, not with massive fleets, but with strategy and courage. Engineers turned mining lasers into defensive weapons. Civilians became fighters. The pirates retreated with losses far greater than they expected. This small victory brought news across the sector. Humans were stubborn, dangerous, and unpredictable. They were not powerful because of technology. They were powerful because they refused to stop. Alien leaders began to discuss them differently. Some were cautious. Some were curious. Others still mocked. But a new respect began to grow. Back on Horizon Dawn, Leah watched the stars with wonder. She remembered the rejection message from the Galactic Union. She remembered the calm, confident words of Captain Cole. And she smiled. The galaxy had turned its back. It had said no, but humans had only begun to move forward. Each day, the crew faced more challenges. Supply lines were long. Communications were delayed by weeks. Space storms could destroy equipment in hours. Yet every problem became a lesson. Ethan fixed engines using parts from unrelated systems. Maya created medical supplies from minimal ingredients. Leah solved navigation problems with old star charts and new calculations. Humanity adapted. Humanity survived. The first year passed. New Hope became more than a test. It became a symbol. Humans worked together to expand the colony. They built energy systems, water storage, living quarters, and research labs. Every achievement proved one thing. Rejection did not stop them. Rejection made them stronger. One day, a small alien ship appeared near New Hope. Its captain was cautious. He had heard stories of humans. He wanted to see for himself. Leah greeted him. She explained their mission simply. Humans explored. Humans built. Humans survived. The alien watched quietly. He did not smile, but he took notes. Other humans joined the colony from different ships. Some had traveled for years. Some had barely left Earth orbit before being assigned. Every person brought skills, hope, and determination. Colonies spread slowly across nearby planets. The galaxy watched, sometimes with disbelief, sometimes with growing interest. Even though the Union had rejected Earth, humans refused to beg. They refused to complain. Every day they showed what it meant to face danger with courage. They proved that strength was not only weapons and armies. Strength was adaptability, unity, and persistence. Captain Cole often spoke to the crew in quiet moments. "The galaxy may never welcome us," he said. "That is not our problem. We create our own path. We build our own future. We will not wait for permission." The crew listened, and they acted. By the end of the first 2 years, the Horizon Dawn had mapped systems beyond the Union's borders. Small colonies had electricity, farms, and workshops. The crew had learned to communicate with local wildlife, harvest resources, and survive natural hazards. Humanity was no longer weak. Humanity was learning, growing, and thriving. The galaxy may have rejected Earth, but humans smiled quietly. They had faced rejection before. They had survived disease, war, famine, and natural disasters. Rejection was another challenge, and humans never stopped facing challenges. Leah looked out at the stars one night from the observation deck. She remembered Earth far behind, glowing faintly, like a blue marble. She thought of all the humans working tirelessly on New Hope, Horizon Dawn, and other colonies. She thought of the alien observers recording their progress, and she smiled. The galaxy had made its choice, but humans had made theirs. They would continue forward no matter what. The first part of humanity's new journey had begun. It was difficult, it was dangerous, but it was theirs, and they would not turn back. Every day brought new problems, but also new solutions. Every failure taught a lesson. Every small victory became a foundation for something greater. The story of humans moving beyond Earth was just beginning. Aliens across nearby systems noticed the activity. Some were impressed, some worried, some were confused. They wondered what humans would do next. But humans did not wait for approval or fear. They moved forward with determination. They moved forward with hope. They moved forward with smiles, even when the stars seemed dark and empty. For the first time in centuries, humans had left the comfort of their home, rejected by the galaxy, but united in purpose. Leah Morgan knew this was only the beginning. Humanity would continue. They would explore. They would build. They would survive. And the galaxy would soon notice. The Horizon Dawn sailed through the black expanse, carrying humans and hope. Every small world they reached became a testament to human determination. Every repaired system, every new colony, every life saved became proof that rejection could not stop them. The galaxy had spoken. Earth was not welcome. Humans had heard the words. And then they grinned. Years passed since the Horizon Dawn had left Earth. Humans were no longer just travelers in space. They were builders, explorers, and survivors. Every day brought new challenges. Every day required courage, teamwork, and clever thinking. The crew had grown closer, friendships formed, some even stronger than family. They learned to depend on each other in ways no one on Earth could understand. Leah Morgan had grown into her role as a senior officer. She understood the importance of every small decision. A miscalculation could mean days of delay or worse, yet she never lost hope. She moved among the crew with calm confidence, answering questions, solving problems, and encouraging everyone to keep going. She reminded them that they were not alone. Humanity had survived worse, and they would survive this. Ethan Brooks, the chief mechanic, had become almost legendary among the crew. He could fix anything: broken engines, cracked hull panels, malfunctioning life support systems. He repaired them all with limited tools and parts. Sometimes he would spend days in the engine room, covered in grease, thinking and testing solutions. When a problem seemed impossible, he would smile and say, "Nothing lasts forever. We just have to make it last a little longer." Maya Scott, the medic, faced her own challenges. Space sickness, injuries, and stress were constant threats. She worked tirelessly to keep the crew healthy. She taught the colonists on New Hope how to care for themselves, how to manage injuries, and how to stay strong. Her voice was calm, even when the worst happened. When someone was hurt, she reminded them, "We survive because we care. Don't forget that." The Frontier program had expanded. New ships followed Horizon Dawn, each carrying more humans, more supplies, and more tools. Colonies began to form on nearby planets. At first, the worlds were harsh and empty, but humans adapted. They built shelters, grew food, and established energy systems. Nothing was easy, but they learned to thrive. Every small victory mattered. One day, a new problem appeared. A supply ship heading to New Hope disappeared without warning. It had been carrying essential parts for life support systems. The crew of Horizon Dawn felt the panic, but Captain Ryan Cole kept calm. He called a meeting and said, "We solve this. Panic helps no one. We find the ship, or we replace what it carried. That is what humans do." Leah led a team to search for the missing vessel. They scanned sectors, checked signals, and followed the faintest traces. After days of searching, they found the ship stranded near a small asteroid field. Its engines were damaged. Without hesitation, the humans repaired it using spare parts, jury-rigging what they had to keep it operational. The ship reached New Hope safely, and the colonists cheered. This small success spread through nearby systems. Alien traders noticed human colonies were growing stronger. They also noticed that humans helped each other in ways no other species did. If a ship was in trouble, humans would respond. If a colony faced disaster, humans would send aid. Even though the galaxy had rejected them, humans acted as if they belonged, as if they had a purpose beyond approval. Pirates were not as patient. They attacked human outposts, expecting easy gains. They assumed humans would run, as the aliens had predicted. But humans fought back. They were not aggressive without reason, but they defended themselves with clever tactics. Mining equipment turned into defensive turrets. Engineers turned tools into weapons. Colonists worked together to drive off intruders. The pirates left quickly, defeated and confused. The story of human resilience reached farther than expected. Alien merchants, explorers, and even some leaders began to take notice. They whispered about the humans who survived against odds, who adapted, and who refused to give up. Some were impressed. Some were worried. Some were simply curious. Humans did not care about attention. They were focused on survival, building, and moving forward. Leah often walked among the colonies, observing progress. She saw children playing under makeshift shelters. She saw engineers building new machines. She saw farmers tending crops in rocky soil. Every life mattered. Every small step was a victory. She remembered the rejection message from the Galactic Union. The words no longer hurt. Humans were proving themselves without needing permission or praise. One day, while exploring a nearby planet, Leah and a team found strange alien structures. They appeared abandoned, but the materials were advanced. The team carefully studied the structures, learning from their design. Ethan helped adapt some of the technologies for human use. Maya ensured that the team stayed healthy while working in an unknown environment. Every discovery brought new opportunities. Humans learned quickly and applied what they learned with practical skills. As humans expanded, the galaxy began to notice patterns. Trade routes were forming. Small colonies were connected by signals and transport. Humans were creating a network of support and communication that rivaled what some older species had built. Yet humans did not seek control. They built for themselves and helped others when possible. It was strange to outsiders. Humans acted without expectation of reward. They acted out of necessity, courage, and determination. Leah remembered a lesson from Captain Cole. He often said, "We do not wait for approval. We do not beg for acceptance. We create our path step by step, and we survive because we must, not because anyone allows us to." This lesson guided every decision. Humans adapted to harsh climates, dangerous wildlife, and unknown natural hazards. They faced failures but learned quickly. Mistakes became lessons. Obstacles became opportunities. Years of work transformed New Hope from a small settlement into a thriving colony. Buildings were sturdy, energy systems reliable, crops were growing, water was purified. Humans had created a home where none had existed. Every new arrival from Earth or other ships brought hope and skill. Communities grew. Systems improved, Humans proved they could build not only for survival, but for life. Leah often spoke with alien visitors who came to observe. She explained human methods simply. Humans explored, built, adapted, and survived. They shared resources with those in need, repaired damaged ships, and offered shelter. Some aliens were skeptical. Some were impressed. Many were confused. They did not understand why humans acted without fear or complaint, without waiting for approval or reward. Despite the challenges, humans smiled quietly. They faced harsh space storms, equipment failures, and occasional attacks. Yet they continued forward. Every colony, every repaired ship, every small success became evidence of their determination. They were not asking to belong. They were proving they could exist and thrive on their own. Leah remembered the first year on Horizon Dawn. The ship had been new, supplies limited, and hope fragile. Now, years later, humans had multiple colonies, skilled crews, and growing knowledge. They had survived storms, pirates, and accidents. They had grown stronger, wiser, and more capable. They had learned the true strength of unity, courage, and adaptability. Ethan often worked late into the night, repairing equipment or testing engines. Maya trained new medics, teaching them to handle injuries, sickness, and stress. Leah coordinated communications and planning for expansion. Every human contributed in their way. Each action was a step forward. Each decision mattered. Humanity moved forward not because of orders or approval, but because it was in their nature to survive and adapt. One day, a small alien freighter approached New Hope. The captain had heard rumors about human colonies. He wanted to see for himself. Leah greeted him. She explained that humans explored, built, and helped each other survive. The alien observed quietly. He asked few questions, but took careful notes. He left with a report that humans were not weak, not reckless, but persistent and capable. This report reached other alien systems. Some began to wonder if the Galactic Union had judged humans too quickly. Some began to worry about their own positions if humans continued expanding. Some were curious about human methods, eager to learn. Humans did not seek attention, but their actions created interest wherever they went. Leah reflected on everything they had achieved. Humans had left Earth, rejected by the galaxy, yet they had built colonies, repaired ships, and adapted to unknown worlds. They had survived attacks, storms, and failures. They had grown stronger through every challenge. They had not asked for permission, and they had not waited for approval. They had created their path. The Horizon Dawn continued to explore new sectors. Humans mapped systems, built communication relays, and transported supplies. Every day brought new lessons. Every day tested courage and intelligence. Every day humans learned to work together, to adapt, and to survive. They became more than explorers. They became builders of a future that the galaxy had denied them. Humans had proven one important lesson. Rejection could not stop them. Fear could not stop them. Obstacles could not stop them. Every challenge was met with determination, every problem solved with cleverness, every small success celebrated quietly. Humans did not need recognition. They only needed the will to move forward. Leah watched children play in the colony fields. She watched engineers test new machines. She watched medics train new recruits. Every human life mattered. Every step forward mattered. Humans were no longer just travelers. They were survivors, explorers, builders, and pioneers. The galaxy had rejected Earth, but humans had not stopped. They had moved forward with hope, courage, and unity. The galaxy may have thought humans weak, reckless, and emotional. The galaxy may have assumed they would fail, but humans proved otherwise. They were clever, adaptable, persistent, and united. They worked together, helped each other, and built a future with their own hands. They moved forward not because they were told to, but because they could not do otherwise. Years of exploration, construction, and survival transformed humans into something the galaxy could not ignore. They had built colonies where none existed. They had repaired ships where none could help. They had survived storms, attacks, and accidents. They had grown stronger and wiser with each passing year. They had created a home, a network, and a legacy beyond Earth. Leah stood on the observation deck, looking at New Hope and the stars beyond. She thought about the rejection message, the Galactic Union, and the doubts that had followed them. And she smiled. Humans had not stopped. Humans had not waited. Humans had moved forward. They had survived. They had adapted. They had built. And the galaxy had no choice but to watch. Humans had learned one truth: rejection could be ignored. Obstacles could be overcome. Failure could be turned into lessons. Humanity would continue, explore, and thrive. They would survive not because the galaxy allowed it, but because they could. Because they must. Because humans never stop moving forward. And so, the second chapter of humanity's journey continued. Each colony, each ship, each discovery built a future of strength, hope, and unity. The galaxy had rejected Earth. Humanity had smiled and kept moving forward, proving every day that survival, courage, and determination were stronger than fear, judgment, or doubt. The galaxy began to notice humans more and more. Rumors spread slowly at first. Small alien traders reported seeing human ships in empty sectors. Explorers saw colonies growing where no one expected life to survive. Some leaders dismissed it as luck. Others were curious. A few worried humans had been rejected. But they did not stop. Instead, they grew stronger, smarter, and more united with each passing year. Leah Morgan had become one of the senior officers of the expanding Frontier Fleet. She had learned patience, strategy, and leadership. She walked among the crew, checking systems, encouraging teams, and solving problems before they became disasters. She understood one truth: humans survived because they adapted. Every challenge was a test, every mistake a lesson, every small success a step forward. One morning, a large distress signal appeared on the fleet's communication system. Dozens of ships were trapped near a dense asteroid belt. Radiation storms had knocked out their engines and shields. Life support was failing. The ships belonged to a distant alien trade network. The Galactic Union fleet was far away, and time was running out. Captain Ryan Cole called a meeting. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed focus. "Humans do not wait for permission," he said. "We go. We help. That is who we are." Leah and Ethan, along with several engineers and medics, prepared the Horizon Dawn to enter the dangerous zone. Supplies, repair tools, and emergency modules were loaded carefully. Every step counted. Mistakes could be deadly. As the Horizon Dawn approached the trapped ships, the crew faced immediate danger. Asteroids shifted unpredictably. Radiation storms flared, creating sparks and energy waves that damaged sensors. Communication signals flickered, yet the crew moved with purpose. Ethan guided the repair drones, maneuvering them between debris to fix engines. Leah coordinated navigation and rescue paths, ensuring no ship collided with another. Maya prepared medical teams for injuries and stress from trapped crews. Humans worked tirelessly. Hours became days. Each ship repaired, each crew rescued, each system stabilized. Alien pilots watched in disbelief. They had expected humans to hesitate, to leave them to die or to fail. But humans did not stop. They did not hesitate. Every action was precise, every decision calculated, and every person focused. Leah approached one of the alien captains after a tense rescue. The captain was pale and shaken. He had expected death. "Why help us?" he asked quietly. Leah smiled gently. "Humans do not move forward to prove something," she said. "We move forward because stopping is not in our nature." The alien did not answer. He only nodded, still processing what he had witnessed. Once the rescue was complete, the Horizon Dawn returned to New Hope with all rescued crews intact. The alien network reported the human actions across nearby sectors. Whispers turned into reports. Reports turned into discussions among leaders. Humans had been rejected. Humans had been ignored. Yet they had saved dozens of ships, hundreds of lives, without asking for reward, permission, or recognition. Ethan and Maya often discussed the rescue quietly in the engine room. "They will tell stories about this," Ethan said, wiping grease from his hands. Maya nodded. "Let them. We did what was needed. That is enough." They had no desire for praise, only the satisfaction of knowing that humans could act where others hesitated. Humans did not need approval. They needed courage, unity, and determination. Leah noticed a change among her crew as well. People moved with confidence, spoke with assurance, and solved problems faster than ever. The rescue had been dangerous, exhausting, and stressful. Yet it had strengthened them. Humans thrived under pressure. Humans adapted when threatened. Humans survived when the odds seemed impossible. This was their strength, and it showed more clearly every day. Meanwhile, distant alien observers began to discuss humans differently. Some were impressed. Some were wary. Some were afraid of their persistence. Humans had no massive fleet, no powerful weapons compared to older species. Yet, they had something more dangerous than fearsome machines. They had resilience, ingenuity, and unity. They did not stop, even when the galaxy told them to. Leah often reflected on the lessons she had learned. She remembered the rejection message, the calm words of Captain Cole, and the faces of her crew. Humans were not strong because of tools or weapons. They were strong because they refused to quit. They were strong because they acted with purpose, care, and courage. Every colony, every repaired ship, every rescued life proved it. The galaxy began to hear more stories. Small human colonies helped alien traders rebuild after storms. Human engineers repaired ships stranded for months. Humans shared knowledge of survival, farming, and energy systems. Aliens could not understand why humans acted without greed or fear. They had been told humans were reckless and emotional. Now they saw something else. Humans were clever, adaptable, and united. Leah organized an expedition to a nearby star system. Several planets in the area showed potential for colonies. The journey was long and dangerous. Radiation fields, asteroid belts, and unpredictable gravity waves threatened every ship. Yet humans pressed on. They mapped the stars, tested new equipment, and learned the systems of planets no one had visited. Every discovery was a small victory. Every problem solved was a step toward survival. One night, Leah spoke quietly with Maya on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly. "They told us we would fail," Maya said. "The galaxy thought we were weak." Leah nodded. "They still might," she said. "But we survive anyway. That is the difference." They watched distant stars, knowing that humans were slowly creating a network, a presence, and a reputation beyond Earth. As humans expanded, alien traders began to seek them out. Some came for supplies, some for repairs, some for advice. Humans offered help, careful but willing. Word spread that human colonies were safe havens. If a ship was damaged, sick, or lost, humans could help. The galaxy had rejected humans, but humans created value beyond approval. They acted out of necessity, courage, and compassion. Leah oversaw the establishment of new outposts. Each site required careful planning, construction, and adaptation. Humans worked in teams. Engineers built energy and water systems. Medics trained local crews. Farmers planted crops adapted to strange soils. Children played under watchful eyes. Every small achievement was a proof of human determination. The Horizon Dawn and other frontier ships transported supplies, people, and knowledge. Humans communicated across systems, creating networks of support. Alien observers began to notice patterns. Humans did not expand recklessly. They did not conquer. They built, repaired, adapted, and survived. Their persistence created something stronger than weapons or armies. It created trust, reliability, and presence. Leah remembered a conversation with Captain Cole. He had said, "Humans survive because they move forward, not because they are told to. Not because they are allowed to, because they must." Those words guided every decision, every repair, every rescue, every construction project. Humans acted not for recognition but for life itself, and that was why they could not be stopped. One day, a new alien delegation arrived at New Hope. They had heard of the rescues, the colonies, and the frontier fleet. Their leader was cautious. He had expected humans to be reckless, weak, or greedy. Instead, he saw careful planning, united crews, and successful colonies. He was surprised. He did not smile, but he took careful notes and reported back. Humans had acted with skill, courage, and unity. Leah smiled quietly. Humans had not stopped. They had grown stronger and wiser. They had survived attacks, storms, accidents, and failures. Every challenge had been met with courage. Every lesson learned had been applied. Humans did not seek reward or recognition. They acted because they could not stop. It was their nature to survive, adapt, and continue forward. The galaxy slowly began to notice. Whispers turned into discussions. Reports of human activity reached trade networks, explorers, and even galactic leaders. Humans had been rejected. Humans had been ignored. Yet humans had built colonies, rescued ships, and expanded their presence. They were not powerful in the traditional sense, but they were dangerous in ways the galaxy had never expected. Leah continued to coordinate expeditions, oversee colonies, and manage the frontier fleet. Humans explored new star systems, repaired ships in distress, and helped anyone in need. The network of colonies grew, each one connected to the next. Supplies, knowledge, and people moved efficiently. Humans created systems that worked where older species had failed. Ethan worked tirelessly in engineering bays, designing improved engines and repair drones. Maya trained new medical crews, ensuring every colony could handle emergencies. Leah managed communications and exploration, planning routes and mapping new stars. Every human contributed. Every person mattered. Humanity advanced because each individual acted with skill, courage, and determination. Even the young humans born in colonies learned quickly. They adapted to harsh conditions, strange worlds, and unusual challenges. They learned teamwork, problem-solving, and perseverance. The next generation understood the lessons of survival, unity, and forward motion. They grew strong, clever, and ready to face challenges even beyond their parents' experience. The galaxy had rejected Earth, but humans continued forward. Colonies thrived, frontier ships explored, and humans helped any species in need. They did not act for praise, reward, or approval. They acted because survival, courage, and determination demanded action. Aliens began to respect, fear, or simply study humans, realizing that rejection had not stopped them. It had strengthened them. Leah often watched the stars, thinking about the journey so far. Humans had left Earth with limited resources, limited knowledge, and doubts about survival. Yet they had adapted, survived, and expanded. They had rescued others, built colonies, and explored the unknown. Humans had moved forward with purpose, courage, and unity. They had smiled in the face of rejection and refused to stop. And so, humans continued their journey. The frontier fleet moved to new sectors. Colonies grew, networks expanded, and humans learned more with every day. The galaxy had rejected them, underestimated them, and ignored them. Yet humans thrived, adapted, and acted with courage and determination. Their path was dangerous, uncertain, and difficult. But humans could not stop. It was their nature to continue, survive, and build. Leah looked at the stars and knew the next challenges were coming. Pirates, storms, unknown worlds, and new alien observers would test them again. Yet she smiled. Humans had survived so much already. Humans had adapted, learned, and grown stronger. They would face the galaxy with courage, unity, and determination. And whatever came next, humans would continue forward, smiling quietly as they did. Humans had been rejected. Humans had been ignored. Yet humans had become stronger, cleverer, and more dangerous in ways the galaxy did not understand. They did not need permission. They did not need approval. They had made their own path, built their own colonies, and helped others survive. Humanity's journey continued, and the galaxy had no choice but to watch and wonder. Years had passed since humans first left Earth. Colonies had grown across star systems. Frontier ships explored new sectors, mapped unknown stars, and built networks of communication. Humans had survived storms, attacks, and accidents. They had helped alien traders, rescued ships, and shared knowledge. The galaxy had rejected Earth, but humans had not stopped. They had continued forward, stronger and wiser than ever. Leah Morgan now stood on the observation deck of New Hope. The colony had grown into a city. Lights glowed under the thin atmosphere. Farms stretched across rocky soil. Machines hummed quietly, producing energy and water for hundreds of residents. Children ran through the streets, laughing and playing, unaware of the history their parents had created. Leah watched them and smiled. Humanity had survived, adapted, and thrived. Captain Ryan Cole, older now, spoke with a calm authority. He had overseen years of expansion, construction, and survival. "We have grown beyond what they expected," he said quietly. Leah nodded. "We have learned to survive," she replied. "We have learned to help, to adapt, and to continue forward." The galaxy had assumed humans were reckless, emotional, and weak. Instead, humans had shown courage, skill, and unity. Reports arrived from across the galaxy. Distant systems had noticed human colonies and frontier activity. Alien leaders discussed the humans with caution. They had been rejected once, but humans had not stopped. They had grown, helped others, and created systems the galaxy could not ignore. Some were impressed, some were curious, and some were fearful of what humans might do next. A delegation from the Galactic Union approached New Hope. They had observed human colonies and rescues. They had seen frontier ships build networks and help alien traders. They expected humans to be aggressive, demanding, or proud. Instead, they found organized colonies, helpful crews, and leaders focused on survival, exploration, and cooperation. Leah greeted the delegation calmly. "We do not act for approval," she explained. We act because it is necessary, because we survive, because we must continue forward. The delegation listened carefully. They had assumed humans were reckless. Now they saw a species that adapted, learned, and helped others without asking for reward. It was strange to them. Humans had been rejected, yet they had thrived. Humans had built a presence beyond Earth, without permission, without recognition, without fear. Leah guided the delegation through New Hope. They saw clean energy systems, healthy farms, well-maintained shelters, and thriving communities. Humans worked together with purpose and care. Children were educated in survival, science, and engineering. Adults collaborated to expand the colonies and improve systems. The delegation was quiet. They had expected chaos. Instead, they found order, skill, and unity. While the delegation observed, a small crisis occurred. A mining robot malfunctioned on the outskirts of the colony. It threatened the energy supply. Engineers rushed to repair it. Ethan Brooks led the team. They worked quickly, adapting spare parts, testing systems, and solving the problem efficiently. The delegation watched in surprise. Humans had planned for emergencies, adapted to challenges, and solved problems calmly and effectively. Leah later spoke with the delegation again. "We survived because we had to," she said. "We thrived because we acted together. Humans do not wait for permission. Humans do not stop when told no. Humans continue forward no matter the challenge." The alien leaders took notes. They had seen it themselves. Humans had not only survived, humans had built, helped, and expanded beyond expectation. As humans continued to expand, trade networks grew. Human colonies traded with alien worlds, providing resources, repairs, and advice. Frontier ships traveled safely through previously dangerous sectors. Humans became known as reliable allies. Word spread that human colonies were safe, cooperative, and skilled. Aliens began to rely on humans in ways they had not expected. Humans did not seek influence, yet influence grew naturally from their actions. Leah walked through the city of New Hope one evening. Lights glowed softly under the thin sky. People worked in workshops, farms, and labs. Children laughed in the streets. She thought about Earth, far behind, glowing faintly like a blue marble. Humans had left rejected, alone, and uncertain. Now they had built communities, networks, and skills the galaxy could not ignore. They had proven themselves without needing approval. A sudden report arrived from the Frontier Fleet. A massive space storm threatened a distant colony. Life support systems were at risk. Supplies were limited. The colony could be destroyed. Captain Cole immediately ordered preparations. Humans would move quickly. They would repair systems, deliver supplies, and protect the colony. No one hesitated. Humans acted because it was necessary. Humans acted because stopping was not in their nature. Leah led the mission. Frontier ships moved in coordinated formations. Engineers worked in shifts, repairing critical systems under pressure. Medics prepared for emergencies. Humans adapted to unexpected failures in the storm, adjusting shields, engines, and communications. Every obstacle was met with ingenuity, courage, and teamwork. The distant colony survived. Damage was repaired. Lives were saved. The galaxy observed silently. Humans had acted again, without fear, without hesitation, without reward. The Galactic Union sent a formal message to humanity. They invited humans to join the Union. Representatives traveled to New Hope. Humans met them calmly. They had grown beyond needing approval. They had built a presence, helped others, and proven their skills. Captain Cole spoke clearly. "We appreciate your offer," he said, "but humans will join on our terms. We have built our path. We will continue forward as equals, not as species asking permission. The Union representatives were surprised. Humans had been rejected, yet they had become a force the galaxy could not ignore. Leah reflected on the journey humans had left Earth with limited resources, facing rejection and danger. They had survived storms, accidents, attacks, and unknown worlds. They had rescued others, built colonies, and adapted continuously. Every challenge had been met with courage and skill. Every obstacle had been turned into opportunity. Humans had created a network of colonies and ships that expanded steadily across the galaxy. The galaxy had assumed humans were weak. The galaxy had assumed humans would fail. Instead, humans had shown resilience, skill, and unity. They had acted without fear or expectation. They had survived where others would have given up. They had built systems that worked. They had helped other species without needing approval. They had grown stronger, smarter, and more capable than the galaxy expected. Leah often walked among the citizens of New Hope. Children learned science and engineering. Adults worked in workshops and farms. Engineers tested new ships. Medics trained recruits. Everyone contributed to the survival and growth of the colony. Every small action mattered. Every decision was important. Humans advanced because each person acted with determination, skill, and care. Humans had created a legacy. Colonies, ships, and frontier networks expanded steadily. Alien traders and explorers relied on humans for guidance, repairs, and support. Humans acted not for reward or recognition, but because survival demanded it. This behavior created influence, respect, and curiosity across the galaxy. Humans were growing in power, not by force, but by skill, unity, and persistence. Leah stood on the observation deck one night, looking at the stars. The horizon dawn had traveled far. Humans had built colonies on multiple worlds. Frontier ships explored unknown systems. Trade networks connected distant planets. Humans had survived and thrived, proving that rejection could not stop them. The galaxy had turned its back, but humans had continued forward with determination, courage, and unity. As humans continued their journey, alien species watched closely. Some were impressed, some were cautious, some were fearful of what humans could achieve next. Humans had no massive fleet, no enormous armies, but they had resilience, adaptability, and unity. They could survive any challenge, help any species, and build systems where none existed. The galaxy had underestimated them, and humans proved it wrong. Leah reflected on the lesson humans had learned. Rejection was not the end. Failure was not defeat. Every obstacle was a chance to adapt, survive, and grow stronger. Humans had left Earth rejected and alone. They had faced the unknown, danger, and hardship. They had built colonies, repaired ships, rescued lives, and expanded steadily. They had proven themselves without needing approval, reward, or recognition. The Galactic Union observed humans quietly. They had invited humans to join, but humans had their own terms. They would participate as equals, not as a species asking permission. Humans had built their path, helped others, survived challenges, and created networks beyond imagination. The galaxy could no longer ignore them. Humans had created their own place, not because they were allowed, but because they refused to stop. Leah looked at the young children playing in New Hope. She remembered the long journey from Earth, the challenges, the failures, the successes. Humans had left a planet rejected by the galaxy. Now they had built colonies, networks, and skills that could shape the future. Humans had survived, adapted, and thrived. They had moved forward quietly, smiling, refusing to stop. The galaxy had rejected Earth, but humanity had grinned. They had survived storms, attacks, and unknown worlds. They had helped others, built colonies, and expanded networks. Humans had proven themselves without needing approval. They had created a future of resilience, unity, and skill. They had carved a place in the galaxy on their own terms. Leah smiled quietly on the observation deck. Humans would continue to explore, build, and survive. They would face challenges, adapt to new worlds, and help those in need. They would continue forward because it was in their nature. The galaxy had rejected them, underestimated them, and ignored them. Yet humanity had survived, thrived, and created its own place among the stars. Humans had left Earth rejected. Humans had faced danger and uncertainty. Humans had survived, adapted, and grown stronger. Apollo 2? They had built colonies, networks, and skills that the galaxy could not ignore. They had acted without fear, without expectation, and without stopping. The galaxy had rejected Earth, but humanity had grinned, moved forward, and earned its place in the universe. Leah looked at the stars, thinking of the long journey, the challenges, and the victories. Humans had proved one thing clearly: rejection could not stop them. Every colony, every rescue, every discovery showed that humanity survived, adapted, and continued forward. They had proven their strength, their unity, and their determination. Humans had created their own future, and the galaxy had no choice but to notice. And so, humanity continued. The frontier fleet sailed into new systems. Colonies expanded, networks grew, and humans explored the unknown. They had been rejected, but they had survived. They had been ignored, but they had thrived. They had grinned in the face of rejection and continued forward. Humanity had carved its place in the stars. The galaxy had turned its back on Earth, but humans had refused to stop. They had survived, adapted, helped others, and built a future. They had proven that courage, unity, and determination were stronger than fear, doubt, or rejection. Humans would continue forward, smiling quietly, carving their path among the stars and showing the galaxy why they could not be ignored.